Namaste and welcome back everybody to our Soundarya Lahari sadhana. We are almost the middle of Ananda Lahari. Ananda Lahari is the first 41 verses, and today we are exploring verse number 20. From that onwards, second part, which is called Soundarya Lahari, is easy to proceed. The first part is the one which has much more esoteric meaning and a little bit more difficult to decipher. Second part will be easier because it talk about Devi's Abhada Juda Varnana, Keshadipada Varnana. Om Shri Matre Nama. May Devi's blessing be with you all always. So today we will be exploring verse number 20. When we started with verse 18, we said this is just like that Vagdevada Aradhana. It is coming like an increased intensity. The pattern was like if we do the dhyanam of Devi in this format, this is the benefit. So this is here also, it is exactly like that. So Shloka 18 said, if we do the meditation on Devi, as Bhumi is covered in red color, Divam, Akasham is covered in red color. So what will be the benefit was that the Shloka 18 was, the benefit was that pranis will be attracted towards us. Keyword here was Sahorvashya Vashya. So Urvashi, people like Urvashi will be attracted. And the esoteric meaning is that we will have the benefit of all things, all the siddhis and all the pranis will be attracted towards that person. And as we progress to Shloka 19, we saw that if we meditate on Devi as three sections, so Bindu as her face, Tanam in the middle, and then triangle as a Kamakala Rupam on the bottom, if we meditate like that, then we not only receive the benefits that talked about in Shloka 18, but also Triloki Mapyashu. Not only the pranis, but the one that makes the pranis, the Triloki, Devi herself will be attracted. So everything, including the Prapancham, the cosmos, will be attracted towards you. So these both are showing more of a materialistic benefits that will receive by the dhyana of Devi. Now, Shloka number 20 is talking about the healing power. So if we do particular dhyana of Devi, what we are going to get is the healing power. That is what it is focused on the Shloka 20. So let's read the verse and then we will go through the meaning. Kiranti mangebhya kirana nigurumba rasam hruditva madatte himakara shila murti mivaya Sasarpanam darpam shamayati shakuntadipa iva jwaraplushtan drishtya sukhayati sudhadhara siraya. Kiranti mangebhya, kiranti plus angebhya becomes kiranti mangebhya. Kirana nikurumba amṛtarasam. Kirana plus nikurumba plus amṛtarasam is kirana nikurumba amṛtarasam. Hridi Tvamadatte, Hridi, Tvam plus Adatte, Tvamadatte, Himakara Śilā Murti Mivaya, Himakara Śilā plus Murti plus Iva becomes Himakara Śilā Murti Mivaya, Sasarpanam Darpam, Shamayati Shakuntadipa Iva, Jwaraplushtan Drishtya, Sukhayati Sudhadhara Siraya. This is one of the simpler verses than what we have seen before. So it is flowing through the same pattern. So if first part says that if we meditate Devi on this format, and then second part says what the benefit of that meditation be. So start with Hriditvam Adatte. So Tvam means you, Hridi means in heart. If you meditate, Adatte means meditate. We saw so many verses, Kritva, the Smaratiya, so many words for meditation. So here, Hriditvam Adatte, how to meditate is next, right? Himakara Śilā Murti Mivaya. Himakara Śilā. Himakara is white in color. Śilā is the stone. Murti means idol. So an idol that is made from moonstone. Iva means similar to that, like that. So if you do the meditation of Devi like Himakara Śilā Murti. Ivaya, whoever, ya means whoever is doing that. Kiranti Mangepya Kirana Nigurumbamrutarasam. From that idol, Kiranti Mangepya. Kiranti is flowing from where? Angebhya. Anga means body. From her body, what is happening from her body? Kirana Nikurumbamrutarasam. Kirana means rays. Nikurumba means cluster. So cluster of rays of what? Amṛta rasa. Amritam is Sudha, the nectar of immortality, right? So if someone does a meditation on Devi, like the moonstone, they are seeing as her as a pure white in color. And from all part of her body, Amritam is flowing, that Amritam like a rays, flowing like a ray, cluster of rays. We do the meditation on Devi like that. What will happen is the second verse. Sa sarpanam darpam shamayadi shakundadipa iva. Sa sarpanam darpam. Sarpam means the snakes. Darpam means ego. What is ego of a snake? What is the pride of a snake? Their poison. Sarpam's poison will be shamayadi shakundadipa iva. Shakuntadipa, literal meaning Shakunta means bird. Adipa means Raja, the king, the Adipan of bird. Who is the king of bird is Garuda. You have heard the Shakunta before from the word Shakuntala. So because Shakuntala was left in the forest and she was taken care by birds. So that's why her name as Shakuntala. So here Shakuntadipa means the birds, bird Rajan, the Raja of birds, the king of birds is Garuda. So Garuda is doing the Shamayati. Shamayati means to subdue, so to reduce, to quell the Sarpam's Dharmam. So how Shakuntadipa, meaning Garuda, removes the ego or the poison of a Sarpa. Like that, Jwara Plushtan Drishtya Sukhayati Sudhadhara Siriya. Jwara Plushtan, who has the Jwaram. Jwaram, literal meaning again, is fever. Here is represented all the diseases, right? Whether it is a physical disease or it is beyond, we will see that. So Jwara Plushtan Drishtya. So for that person, if they look at a person, then their Jwaram will be removed. Sukhayati, after removing the Jwaram, they will feel the pleasantness, right? If we have fever, if fever goes out, we will be in an ease, right? If the disease goes away, we will be ease. So that is the Sukhayati here. Sudhadhara Sireya. So with that same Sudhadhara, because of that flow of Amritam in that person, if they take a look, drishtya, if they look at somebody who has jwara, who has a fever, then their jwaram will be removed. They will be given that sukha, shanti or sukham. How that jwaram is removed is that previous verse. So just like Garuda, the king of birds, is removing that ego from the snake, removing the poison from the snake, just like that, by drishti alone, that person, the person who has meditated on Devi, can remove the jwaram from others. Kirandi mangebhya kirana nigurumbamrutarasam hriditvam ādatte Himakara Śilā murti mevaya. So someone who is meditating on Devi, like a Himakara Śilā or moonstone, also from her every part of her body, the amridam is flowing like a kirana nigurumbam. If that format, if somebody is meditating on that Devi in the hriditva madati, in their heart, if they are visualizing the Devi like at pure white, pure spadikam actually. So the white is coming because of the moon, right? So like a pure spadika rupam. The moon is the symbol of Amritam. So that because of the moon, that Spadikam looks white. That's why our meditation looks Devi in a white color because of the moon, because of the Amritam. So if we do that, somebody who is suffering from Jwaram, and if this person, the meditator, looks at that person, just like Garudan has removed the Sarpam's ego, that format, this person's jwaram can be removed and he will be offered sukham to that person who is suffering from jwaram. So individual who contemplates your form, beautifully sculpted from moonstone, and visualize the flow of amritam like a gentle stream radiating from the rays that emanate from Devi's body, will possess a gaze powerful enough to heal the ailment of others. This is equivalent to the mere sight of the king of birds, Garuda, will be vanquishing the ego of snakes. Let's first start with the story of Garuda, how Garuda removed the ego of snakes. So many of you may know the story. This is from Mahabharata, Ādi Parva. It starts with Kashyapa, sage Kashyapa has two wives, not two wives, he has many wives. But we will focus on two wives, Kadru and Vinata. So Kadru and Vinata are the daughters of, they are sisters, they are daughters of Daksha. And you know Daksha, Prajapati Daksha, because Sati was the daughter of Daksha. Daksha has many other daughters as well. And Daksha actually married off 13 of his daughters to sage Kashyapa. All other beings are manifested from Kashyapa. So Kashyapa's sons are like not only human beings, but also the snakes and the birds and any beings that crawls, the flies. So that's why usually when you go to temple and if you're doing some offerings, the pujari may ask you for what gotra you belong. So people who knows the gotra, you would say that, okay, I belong this gotra and nakshatra and the nama for doing any puja, right? But if you don't know your gotra, you can say Kashyapa gotra, because Kashyapa is the father of everybody, right? So from Kashyapa, all, not only the human beings, everybody came. So that's just a side note. So now we are focusing on these two wives, Kadru and Vinata. And Kadru and Vinata has been also blessed with to receive sons. So Kadru asked for 1,000 nagas, valiant nagas. Vinata asked for two mighty sons. Kadru laid 1,000 eggs, and from that 1,000 eggs, 1,000 snakes came, and they are Kadru's sons. Now, Vinata was so impatient that her egg is not hatching, and she just knocked a little bit on one of them. It was not completely formed, right, manifested. So the partially formed son is known as Aruna, and Aruna becomes the charioteer of sun. So Aruna gave a curse to his mom because he was half done, right? But he also gave a boon, say that wait for 500 more years and then that sun will be removing all the problems that you have, right? So Vinata waited another 500 years, but in between something happened. So Kadru and Vinata one day, so Uchisravas, he's actually a horse of Indra. And looking at that horse, the Kadrus and Vinata got into a conversation and into a wager at the end. Vinata knows that horse is actually white in color. So she said the tail is white. And then Kadru said, no, the tail is black. So now Kadru also knows the tail is white, but now that if she wants to win wager, then she has to do something, right? So now she has this 1,000 nagas as sons. The wager was that whoever loses the wager will become the servant of the other person. If Kadru loses, then she becomes the servant for Vinata, and the other way around if Vinata wins. So now Kadru is planning something. Kadru is not so great. You can understand from here that she asked her sons to wrap around the tail of this horse so that it looks like black. Some Nagas didn't agree to this. Then she actually threatens them that then I will do a Naga sacrifice. So frightened by that, the rest of the Nagas said, okay, we will go and be around the horse's tail. So the next day, the horse and that actually it was looking black, and Vinata lost the wager and she became a slave or servant to Kadru. Now, 500 years passed by. Vinata, poor thing, was doing all the work for this Kadru and her 1,000 sons. And this new son arrives after 500 years, and he actually came with such a amazing thing came from this egg, and that was Garuda. Okay. So Garuda, as soon as he's born, he sees that his mother is a slave. to Kadru and Naga sons, and is a really bad situation of his mother. He asked, like, I don't want my mother to be a slave to you. What can I do? Then the Naga said, okay, we need some ransom. So what ransom did they ask for? They said they want amṛtam from Devaloka, right? You know the amṛtam that was received after Samudramadhanam, right? So now that's not an easy task, but regardless, Garuda wanted a peace to his mother. So he started, he said he's courageous. He started off, and then there is so many hurdles that he has to cross, that he has to cross all the oceans. He has to fight all the demons, and so many things that Garuda has to go through in order to reach finally at Devaloka. Finally, he reached Devaloka, but guess what? You have seen those in heist movies like Ocean's 11, like you see the laser rays, right? The protecting the whatever be the jewel or whatever be that. So, but just like Catherine Zeta-Jones, I think the movie was Entrapped. There was a beautiful dance through that laser rays. So just like that, like there was a ring of fires and rotating blades. All of them are there protecting this amṛta. But regardless, Garuda reached there, take the amṛta, and then now ready to come back to the Nagas and Kadru. But then on the way back, there are two encounters happens. The first one with Lord Vishnu, the second one with Lord Indra. So with Lord Indra, of course, he has to fight all the devas also to get this. So Indra, he made a deal, right? And we'll talk about that deal in a minute. But then second is with Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu says, wait, hey, wait. Where are you going with this? Where are you stealing this amṛtam towards? This doesn't belong to you. So he, with so much patience, so much devotion, he said, this is my situation. I'm Garuda. I'm the son of Vinata. And he explained the entire story. So looking at that, his devotion towards mother and his righteousness and all, Lord Vishnu was so pleased. Remember, he has amṛtam in his hand, but he didn't take even a drop, right? He could have very much taken and then could have received the immortality, but he didn't. So, but by seeing his devotion, Lord Vishnu gave him a boon of immortality. And in return, he asked for him to be the Vahana or vehicle of Vishnu. So that is how Garuda became Lord Vishnu's vehicle. But before that, before he becomes Vahana of Vishnu, he said, I have to go take care of a little business with my aunt and siblings. He went down all the way to finally meet the Nagas. What Nagas has told is that we want amṛtam, and if you can put this in front of us, then we will release your mother. So now exactly he obeyed the words, just like they mentioned. He put the amṛta kumbham in front of the Nagas, right? And then he also told that this amṛtam is very, very special. So before you take the amṛtam, you will have to take a shower. So all the Nagas went to take a shower. Before they went to shower, they actually released Vinata. And then when they went for shower, Indra came and Indra took the pot and then he returned. So that was actually the adjustment with Indra and Garuda on the way back. There is a fight first, and then after that fight, he's also pleased with the devotion and righteousness that Garuda has. And he said, but this will be bad if the pride, very bad, the serpents of Kadru, if these Nagas receive the amṛtam, that will be even worse. So he didn't want them to be in the hands of the Sarpa. So that is where they made a deal that, like, I will distract them and then you can now come and that. So it will not come in the hands of the serpents, but I would have obeyed my word also. Like the word that he gave to them, that he will bring the amṛtam and put it in front of them. And he did exactly that. Indra also gave him a boon that from now on, Garuda's prey will be the sarpas. So sarpas, wherever sarpas are there, he can eat them. That is how the vanquishing the ego of the snake. If there is an eagle flying, there will be no snake around, right? Because they are so afraid of Garuda, the eagle. So that is the story, and that is, again, these are stories, right? So in this Śloka, that is where that vanquishing ego of snake is coming from, that story. Now we have to look a little deeper here. So what is the ego? What is the fever? All right. The fever, many commentators just say that jwaram as a physical level, the person who has the power after doing the meditation, they have the healing power and they can actually remove the jwaram. And obviously the physical thing can be removed. And that is where many commentators stop. But we actually can go deeper. So what is the jwaram? Jwaram doesn't represent just for fever, but all ailments. So now you might have heard the sloka on Guru, right? Dakshinamurti Stotram. There is a line called Nithaye Sarva Vidyanam, Bishaje Bhavaroginam, Gurave Sarvalokanam, Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. So Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam. So he is the Nithi, the reservoir of Sarva Vidya. So all the knowledge. So we are talking about Dakshinamurti, the Shiva Swarupam as a Guru. He's the Nithi of Sarva Vidya. And second verse is Bishaji Bhavarogina. So Bhavarogam. So he is a Bishaji means the healer of Bhavarogam. Right? We are talking about Guru. So Guru as Shiva as a Guru here, or Dakshinamurti as a Guru here. So he will remove people's Bhavarogam. So all the Rogam, Bhavarogam is samsara, lack of ease, that is disease, right? So that is the physical ailment. And also we have the samsaram, the ajnanam itself is a disease. So that is what is mentioned here, Bhavarogina. He is the healer of Bhavarogam. Samsaram is caused because of ajnada, because of the ignorance. So that ajnanam is the one who is removing. Right? So that Bhavarogam doesn't represent the physical disease itself. Physical disease also Devi's prayer will remove. But not only that, but we are talking the disease of Bhavarogam, because all that disease of worldly existence, of cycle of birth and death, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, that is what is received as a Bhavarogam, right? So here, Devi will be the ultimate healer and a savior of Bhavarogam, and she's doing that just like the Garuda is removing the poison of the the sarpa. So now, what is the poison, right? Poison symbolizes the mind as a poison. Our mind has so much of fear, dissatisfaction, ignorance, and all that is the poison within us. So those poisons needs to be removed. So what we are saying is that if a person who is already enlightened with Devi's Amrita Pravaham, so the Devi's Amrita Pravaham is how accomplished a yogi, he or she is seeing Devi like that. He's experiencing Devi as Amrita Pravaham. Even in the Manasa Puja, we are saying that we are giving everything that we think we are. And finally, we receive the Anugraham from her. That Anugraham comes in the form of Amrita Pravaham. So I know none of us are there, but that is how these yogis and jnanis are experiencing Devi. So that's where this Amritam Pravaham coming, Sudhadhara coming in so many places. That's how that person who's enlightened is experiencing that Shuddha Chaitanya. So if we receive that Amrita Pravaham, that will have the power to heal others who are actually suffering from ignorance, suffering from either physical problem or the mental illness, right? Like the ignorance itself is the one that is causing us to see this lokam as dvaidam. So in order to release us from this dvaita lokam to the advaitam, that is what that person who has already received that anugraham from Devi. We do all these Manasa Puja, and then the anugraham from her comes as a form of that pravaham. Until that happens to us, we can visualize it. We can close our eyes and we can feel that amritam that is flowing, that sudhadhara flowing through us. Because in Tantra, we say we need both bhakti and bhavana. Bhavana is the imagination, because all these meditation that we are talking about, that utilize our visualization. Visualize Devi as red color. Visualize Devi as the triangle and bindu. Visualize Devi as the white amritam flowing. So these visualization has power. So this is saying that if the ones after all this visualization, one has enlightened, and that person is a healer himself. That person is Shiva himself. That person can heal others. That is why you might have heard the stories of Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi, the people who are sitting in front of Ramana Maharshi, they could feel that peace. They could feel that divinity in presence of that Ramana Bhagavan. We know that Devi and Shiva, they are not too different. They are the same Ardhanarishwara Sankalpam. So Shiva has two things, that is the healing in his head, cooling things in his head. One is the moon and the other is Ganga. Both are cooling and the healing power. So that same moon is what is reflecting here in when they say Himakara Śilā, right? That moonstone, that stone is from that same sankalpam, same symbolism, I mean. So here it says that if we are meditating on that Devi, not only everything will be attracted towards that person, like in the Śloka 18 and 19, here he has even more power to actually impact the other people to lift them up spiritually. So that is what here it is. So we will go through the sloka one more time. Kiranti mangebhya kirana nikurumbamritarasam hridi tvamadatte himakara shilamurtimivaya sasarpanam darpam shamayati shakuntadipa iva jwaraplushtan drishtya sukhayati sudhadhara siraya. So whoever is contemplating Devi as a Himakara Śilā Murti, and the amṛtam is flowing from her. So it is not only we are closing our eyes and in our heart, we are seeing Devi as white in color and the rays are flowing from her and then it's drenching that person. If we meditate like that, then that person by drishtya sukhayadi sudhadharasya, with that amṛtadhara that is within him, he can do the sukhayadi jwaraplushtan. So the person who is suffering from fever, we can remove that person's jwaram. Jwaram as a physical jwaram, as also the jwaram as an ignorance. So any Bhavarogam can be removed, just like Sasarpanam Darpam Shamayati Shakuntadipa Iva. Just like the king of birds, Shakuntadipa, the Garuda, removes the ego, removes the pride of Sarpam. Just like that, this particular person who is meditating on Devi can also heal others. So that is the summary of this slokam. And I have a picture. So there is a Garuda Vishnu idol, a huge idol in Kencana, Bali, Indonesia. So that place, this is not that Vigraham of Garuda Vishnu, but their wall has the Garuda here. This is the eagle, and then the sarpas. These are all the sarpas, and you can also see here the kumbham of amṛtam. So this is depicted. If you ever go there in Bali, make sure that you see that.
मुखं बिन्दुं कृत्वा कुचयुगमधस्तस्य तदधो हरार्धं ध्यायेद्यो हरमहिषिते मन्मथकलां ससद्यः संक्षोभं नयति वनिता इत्यति लघु त्रिलोकीम् अप्याशु भ्रमयति रवीन्दुस्तनयुगाम् किरन्तीम् अङ्गेभ्यः किरणनिकुरम्बामृतरसं हृदि त्वामाधत्ते हिमकरशिलामूर्तिमिव यः सर्पाणां दर्पं शमयति शकुन्ताधिप इव ज्वरप्लुष्टान् दृष्ट्या सुखयति सुधाधारसिरया.
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Om Shri Matre Namah. Sarvam Shri Jagadambika Padarvindarpanamastu. May Devi's blessing be with you all always.